Today we're talking agency numbers and specifically how my business made over $600,000 last year in my first year of business. This year we're on track to do $1 million worth of revenue, and there is a specific reason for that. When I started my lead generation agency just 2 years ago, there was one key factor that allowed me to determine my success in this space. And the key, oddly enough, was actually me starting a lead generation agency. So here's what I mean by that. Lead generation is not just a random business model that I picked. It's one that I picked on purpose because I knew it is a recession-proof offer that will never go out of business. Every business, no matter how big, small, different locations, different markets, they're always going to be in need of generating leads. So if you can master this one skill, as I've done, then winning new business is never going to be a problem for you. Because no matter what business I'm in for the rest of my life, one of the most important skills will be how I actually acquire more customers. So this is how it all started. The most important thing when I very first got started was taking imperfect action. I'm not a perfectionist. I knew that when I very first started my business, it wasn't going to be the most pretty thing in the world, but it didn't stop me from wanting to do it. If I look back at those outreach messages now and the sort of things I'd say to clients, I'd probably cringe, especially the stuff on sales calls. But I'm so glad that I took that action, because bad action or imperfect action is so much better than no action at all. And it ultimately started the flywheel moving and build momentum for my business. My first outreach campaigns were really basic, but they actually worked. I would simply reach out to businesses and ask if they were able to handle more business through email and LinkedIn systems. And funnily enough, quite a few got back to me. I was getting around a 5% appointment booking rate on LinkedIn. So for every 100 outreach I'd send, I'd book around 5 calls. This started to build confidence and momentum in my system to allow me to actually start to implement this into clients' businesses as well. That's one reason why the lead generation agency is such a powerful business model, is because you just have to master that one skill. For example, how I acquire customers for myself is exactly how I acquire customers for my clients. It's exactly like a positive feedback loop. Exactly what I do for myself that works, I will just do this for my clients. And it means that you don't have to learn lead generation as one skill just to get your business off the ground, and then learn all the other skills like SEO, marketing, content, right, to actually build a business. If you run a lead generation agency, you can focus on one skill and sell that also. The one skill you learn is how to grow your own business, and you can use this to help your clients grow their businesses as well. This is why I think lead generation agencies are such a great business model, because by nature, they're very simple. Don't get me wrong, they're very hard to run and hard to run successfully, but they're very simple. You only really need a few moving parts: an outreach system that could be email or LinkedIn, good script, good copywriting, and a good sales function to actually close those calls. That's all you really need to start making money with lead generation. Because the model is so simple, it's actually a pretty high profit margin business to be in. All you've got to pay for really is the cost of your automations, and then eventually the cost of your team when you start hiring them. But the typical lead generation agency under around 50K a month should be making 70 to 80% profit margins. You're not really going to be able to replicate this with any other type of business. You're going to need more upfront investment to actually scale. I originally started my very first lead generation agency, I think for $500 in total. And since then, I've probably generated over $800,000 worth of cash just from that initial $500 investment, which has snowballed and built momentum over time. But there's not many other business models where you can make such a small upfront commitment and see such big upside returns on the back end. The other thing that makes a lead generation agency so attractive is its predictable revenue. You'll work on a monthly subscription basis. You might be charging your clients $1,500 a month, $3,000 a month. But whatever it is, as long as you're working with them, you can build this monthly recurring revenue, meaning every month you sign clients, your revenue will start to compound, right? As long as you have your churn and your retention in place, you'll start to make more and more money over time without having to hunt for new deals every single month. So you're probably wondering, how can you actually start a lead generation agency? Now, the first thing that will get your lead generation agency off the ground is booking your very first 10 sales calls. It's no surprise if you can't do this and you can't book 10 sales calls for your own business, you're never going to be able to sell this product to your customers as well. So the focus should be hitting those first 10 sales calls. So how are we going to do that? I would just focus on one platform and one channel. This could be LinkedIn, this could be SMS, this could be email. For this example, I recommend you focus on email. What you then want to do is use your offer that you've already created. And if you don't have an offer already, go and watch one of my past videos that explains exactly step by step how to build an offer using Alex Hormoz's equation to create an irresistible offer that people can't say no to. Once you have your offer, even if you don't think it's the final thing, you need to start testing out in the market. So use the email infrastructure that you've built, those 10 domains, those 20 email accounts, and start reaching out to prospects. You don't just want to be reaching out to any random prospects. You want to be building an audience and a niche first in a specific space. So I recommend going after a niche that has a high average ticket size per customer. For example, management consulting, it could be private equity, it could be recruitment. You want to go after businesses that sell their service for a lot of money, so your value proposition is stronger. All you need to do to book your first 10 sales calls is download a list of around 1,000 to 2,000 prospects in your niche and reach out to them with your offer. You need to make sure your offer is strong, it's got good risk reversal. As soon as you've done your first 1,000 bits of outreach, then you can actually track your metrics and understand what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Everything in lead generation is around tracking your metrics. Your metrics and your numbers don't lie, and these are what you need to go off. So you need to be tracking things such as your reply rate, your positive reply rate, how many meetings you're booking, how many calls are actually showing up to the meeting, and how many deals you're closing. If you track these 5 metrics, then you will run a successful lead generation business and you'll be able to help your clients acquire more customers as well. Once you understand this data, you can start split testing. You can start trying new things, trying new scripts, trying new niches, trying new audiences, seeing if that outperforms your previous one. But nonetheless, these 1,000 prospects should be enough to help you book your first 10 sales calls if you have the right script in place. Now, once you have sales calls coming in, all you need to do is start to close these. This is where most people go wrong. They can book the sales calls, they can build the systems, they can't actually close the clients. So in order to do this, you need to develop your sales skills. There's one key thing that I've done in my sales calls that have allowed me to differentiate myself, and that is position myself as more of a doctor and a consultant versus a salesperson. At the end of the day, no one actually likes to be sold to, but everyone loves to be helped. So if you can position your sales calls in a way where you're actually getting to know the problem and getting to understand the root cause of it and prescribing a solution, it will frame you in a much better way than just trying to shove a solution down someone's throat. For example, you're working with a business and they can't acquire customers, right? They're trying all these things, they're trying cold email, they're trying LinkedIn, they're trying ads, none of it's working. Instead of just saying, oh, this clearly isn't working because you're not using our method and we're not running the campaigns for you, you need to dig a bit deeper. You need to ask them what they've tried, what they've done before, why they feel it hasn't worked, and then present them with a sensible solution. The more you can come across like a consultant to your prospect, the more you'll build trust with them and eventually be able to get them over the line. Another key tip to actually getting your first client over the line for your lead gen agency is offering something that's low risk to them. This could be a trial period for 30 or 60 days, or this could be a guarantee where if you don't even book them a single sales call, they get their money back. The more you can add in that will actually be able to remove the risk from the prospect, the far more likely you'll be able to close this client. And then as soon as that client is actually closed, onboarding needs to be watertight. This is the first experience the client is actually going to get of your business. So I would focus a lot of your time on making that onboarding process as optimized as possible, making sure the client feels educated on the way you do things, making sure they know exactly how they're receiving leads, what the quality of these leads will be like, and the expectations that you have on both sides of this partnership. So that's how you can take advantage of building and scaling a high profit margin business in 2025, all to give you location freedom, time freedom, and hopefully financial freedom. And if you want one-to-one help of actually building and scaling your lead generation agency, as I've done myself, then click the link in the description, book a call with me, and I can see how I can help.